Hi, and welcome to class number 5 in the Stretch Your Sketch class hosted by 2peasinAbucket.com. I'm Jen Gallacher, and I will be teaching a 2-page sketch today. We will begin with the left side of the sketch. This is an 8.5 by 11 sketch. You can always stretch it to a 12 by 12. This is just to get you started. So for my background, I have pre-cut a little die cut number sheet. It is a background shape which your silhouette can cut. And I'm just going to add some photo corners to it. One way to alter your sketch is by creating a unique background. So that's what I did for this page. Now I'm going to add some strips of pattern paper to the layout. Okay, and then on this sketch, it actually shows the journaling on this side and 2 photos. I'm actually going to move the journaling over to the right side of the page, but I am going to use 2 horizontal photos. I like to use glue dots. You can use whatever adhesive works for you. You can alter this sketch by adding additional photos in smaller or larger sizes, or by printing instead of vertical photos, you could print them as horizontal photos. So I have some green baker's twine, and baker's twine takes a color twine and a white twine and wraps them together. So I'll just wrap that a couple of times around my page. Usually do it about 3 times. And then something fun that I like to do is I like to take the ends of the twine and stick it through a button before I do any tying or anything like that. Just stick it right through the bottom part of the holes of a button. Alright, once you've done that, now you can tie it into a knot or a bow, and that is just a fun way to add a button to twine. Another way to add twine to a button is just to cut a strip like I've done here. Just thread it through and tie it into a knot. That's a super quick and easy way to do it. And then just use the glue dot and add it to your page. Oops, didn't grab the glue dot. Alright, so that's just a really quick and easy way. You can see the left side of my sketch and you can see the left side of the finished project. Now let's go ahead and do the right side of the sketch. So again, we're going to start with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of brown. And on the sketch I have a large photo here, but instead of a large photo, I have pre-cut patterned paper. One way to stretch your sketch is to substitute a photo area for a pattern paper area. And I'm just going to add some photo corners to the top of this. Alright, and I mentioned that I was going to move the journaling over to this side. So I have pre-printed and pre-stitched my journaling on a sheet of craft cardstock. And I'm going to attach that to my layout. Now one thing I like to do when I have 2 pages is I like to match the borders. So I'm going to bring the original page back up and I want to match the bottom red border. So I put the 2 papers by one another and match them up, and then I make sure that my border is the same height from the bottom as the left side of the page. And I want to match up this border now, and I'll do the same thing. It's just a designer tip. Okay, on the right side sketch, we had the large photo. Rather than a large photo, I mentioned I used the pattern paper, but for fun, I used a chipboard frame. This is actually a Halloween frame. Just look for unique and interesting frames. You could also print out a digital version of a frame to finish off this layout. So you can just attach chipboard with strong adhesive. The glue dots work just fine. Put a couple of them on there. And then when I printed my journaling, I left a space right here because I knew that my frame was going to go there. And I pretty much pre-measure all of my elements to make sure that they're going to fit where I want them to fit. I have two American Crafts Campy Trails tags that I have used, and I'm going to hide the deer on here, but I loved the green pattern and the yellow pattern on those tags. And so I added some ribbon. I tied one of the ribbon in a knot. This one's a knot. And then I tied this one in a bow. They're both different color ribbons too, so just a fun way to kind of stretch your sketch and make it fun. All right, I also have, to add to this page, some Jenny Bolin stickers. I love these stickers. And they're little banner flags. And like I said, they are stickers, so they will just stick to your layout. Or in this case, the frame. And then I have some buttons that I'm going to add to them. This red button I've already added a bow to. And then I have a yellow button that I'll add, and I'm just covering up the little numbers on the flags. So you can just keep adding elements as little or as much as you want to complete the sketch. You can alter sketches by changing the theme. You can alter a sketch by changing the color. There's a lot of ways to alter a sketch. So I've pre-cut this just because letters from my silhouette machine, and I'm going to turn over the back of my sketch, and then I like to use a thin glue pen for detailed titles like this, and I basically just paint the glue on. You could use Xyron if you have a Xyron machine. You could use a glue stick if you prefer a glue stick. I've just found that I use whatever adhesive I'm comfortable with, and I kind of just stick with that. So we'll attach our title. And then I want to show you stick pins are another thing that I love to add to my layouts. There are a couple of ways to add stick pins to your projects. You can actually stick them through the paper. If you're going to do that, I recommend that you use a paper piercer that has a sharp tip. If it's thick paper and several layers of paper, it's hard to stick them into things. That's why I use a paper piercer before. But today I'm actually just going to stick them in the bottom here inside that glue dot that I used. You just kind of press hard and stick them in, and then you can rearrange them as you like. And they just add as another dimension to your page. So let's look at this sketch again. We have two photos on the side here with a large background. We have the journaling, which I moved to this side. Rather than a large photo, I used a small photo in a chipboard frame, and then rather than my title being across the middle, I put it on my journaling block. For additional photos and a downloadable PDF, visit 2peasinabucket.com in the free monthly classes section.